Everybody, give it up for my co-host, Eric Micah Moore. So speaking of ownership, man, we got an incredible guest coming up with us today, man. Incredible guest, man. And you know, I was saying, man, like you were so amped and so excited about this guest, right?
Yeah,
I couldn't. I was like, dang, this guy gotta be ultra dope, man, for bro to be on here. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So let me
I
get
mean, but the network producers have been riding my back about putting out content, so I had to put out, a few more posts.
the network producers have been riding your back. So here we go, man. Our guest for the night, man. Zane Gunsby, co-founder and owner of the Pop-Up, LLLP, and Blvck Spades. He was born in Frankfurt, Germany, to a military father and mother. He moved to Atlanta, Georgia when he was a young boy. First memories of suburban Atlanta life. He attended Albany State University, HBCU.
Yeah.
Undergrad in Georgia State University for his master's. Professionally, he run a gamut of careers, working as a police officer for 3 years prior to getting his master's in information systems. He's since worked as a project manager for supply chain and marketing initiatives in corporate and agency environments. In his time as an employee, in these arenas, he's begun growing investment portfolio in diverse ways. Currently a full-time entrepreneur looking to use all of his professional experience to advance as a business owner and a business owner. In his free time, he liked to stay active by riding his bike trails around the city, playing softball when he can, and enjoying hosting people for small gatherings at his house. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, help us welcome ZG, Zane Gunsby, man. Here we go. Blvck Spades in the house one time. He coming in. What's happening?
Okay. Y'all can hear me all right?
Oh, yeah. We can hear you now, man.
Yeah. Nice. What's up, bro?
Brother. Hey,
My God, what's happening, man?
Man, ain't nothing. Just, working hard and trying to stay stress-free, corona-free,
That's the move.
Hey, man, first and foremost, man, thank you so much for being a part of this broadcast, man. Tell me something good to show that highlights, man, some of the dopest people doing the dopest things. And so, again, I came into contact with the cards before they came out. And I was like, man, it seemed like a pretty dope thing, man, you know what I'm saying? And so this show is now here, and you came across the radar. I said, let's try it out, man. Let's see what we can do, man. So again, thank you so much. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, nothing but love, man. I appreciate the platform to, kind of talk about myself, give myself some kudos where I can, and, of course, highlight the business, Blvck Spades and some other things I got going on.
Yeah, man. So that point where you talk about highlighting yourself or giving yourself kudos, really, now is that time. I read your bio, but there's nothing like hearing it from the person's mouth. You know who you are, what you do, your journey from the beginning to now, man. Now take that chance to go ahead and give yourself some kudos.
Yeah. Well, first, I don't know if y'all drinking, but I want to cheers to y'all, man.
Oh man, I got water. Cheers.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I should have gave y'all a little heads up.
Yeah, man. We would have been.
It's all good.
Thank you so much.
Little cab for the night. But yeah, man, I'm from Stone Mountain. I'm the youngest of 4 brothers and a sister. Good family upbringing and everything, and I appreciate everything my mom and dad did for me, instilling what they need to instill. So I don't have any kids, and I like to shout out my foundation first whenever I talk about my success and anything that I got going on, because they're my inspiration. Because I don't have any kids or anything yet, but when I think about the effort and the time they put into molding me into the man I am, I got to give them all the credit. So, that's where I like to start. But yeah, I grew up in the Stone Mountain area. Went to Columbia High School, class of 02. And I went for criminal justice and didn't really dig that. I went for forensic science first, and then I didn't really dig that. I switched to criminal justice, got my degree, ended up just kind of jumping around in careers, man. Like you stated before, I was a police officer for 3 years, and so you know, with the stuff that's going on right now, I kind of, you know, if I'm ever invited to a conversation about it, I like to give my insight on these issues that, you know, obviously we're facing right now. But one thing about me being a police officer, that I felt when I was in that position, in that role, was that I was kind of being used more as a body than a mind. And you know, because I was a young guy, they like to have me out there chasing and jumping fences and, you know, doing all the things that a young man's supposed to do. And I
Right.
was just thinking, like, you know, I feel like I'm smart. You know what I mean? I want to use my mind to kind of have more impact in the world and impact for my life and career. So I ended up going back to school in 2013, resigning from the police force, and got my master's degree in information systems. So did that for a while, and I would say professionally, that is what I am still, even though I'm full-time entrepreneur. I'm not in the workforce right now, but I say professionally, I'm a project manager because, you know, pretty much everything we do is a project. And so I've taken those tools and some of the things I've learned in the corporate world, corporate environment, and kind of applied it to what I do now as an entrepreneur. Um, but I will say it's a lot harder as an entrepreneur. It's a lot more things I have to have my hands on and things I have to consider. So, but it's very helpful. So, you know, right now I'm just navigating this new kind of lifestyle and take the idea of taking on this risk of, you know, not getting that bi-weekly paycheck or whatever. You know, it's stressful sometimes, it's scary sometimes, but, you know, it's also fulfilling to navigate it and then be finally recognized for having a good product.
Okay, so let's backtrack just a little bit, and actually keep it current as well. And so, there's one thing that you said, man, that I could connect to and relate to as it relates to being in a profession where people see you only as a body and not necessarily as a mind. I'm an educator. I've been in education for a little under 3 years now, and when I initially had the opportunity to be an educator, I declined it because when they heard my expertise and experience working outside of education, I didn't qualify for the job that I was applying for, but they called me back to do special ed. And what I understood is that special ed was filled with majority African American young boys and young black boys and girls, man. And so I figured they would just saw me and was like, you know what, we could use you to probably, handle them and their maneuvers, man. And so, what do you think uh, or how do you think you would have respond being a police officer in the current climate and environment now?
Oh man, well I can honestly say, and I promise you, I'm not just saying this. If I were in a position like the other three officers in the George Floyd instance, that wouldn't have happened. I was kind of known as one that would shake the tree a little bit, speak my mind. I've complained on superiors before for situations that I felt like were unfair, and I kind of wonder sometimes if I just had the good fortune of working at an agency that was progressive enough and fair enough to allow that kind of checks and balance kind of thing. But because when I did, you know, kind of officially challenge my superior in this one particular situation, it went well. I was I won't say praised, but they responded in a way that I think is fair, even to the extent that my superior at the time came to me and apologized, and he said, you know, you're right. I came in and I didn't do my part, and so I wonder if, like I said, if that was just the good fortune of being in a good agency, as opposed to being in, you know, New York or Minneapolis, and what the I guess what the message is to the road officers about your ability to challenge your superiors or challenge somebody that's been on the force longer than you when they're doing something wrong. Um, so I can say honestly that all cops aren't bad because I've been there, but I can also say I don't know if, because I worked in the city of Chamblee, so I can't say for sure if the way Chamblee handles their business is the way all agencies do, and apparently that's not the case.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to sit down with a police chief and an officer from Morrow, and they definitely said that the way that business is handled is not the same across the board, and also just the differences in laws from state to state, you know, which kind of allows for certain things like that to happen where, you know, Georgia doesn't have that choke restraint type deal where, you know, in Indianapolis they do. So, but okay, I'll give it out to my boy Eric, man.
All right, Zane. So, now one thing that we posted about you was your involvement with Blvck Spades. All right, so I want to see about that because here it is. You started out, you were a law officer, then you worked in information systems, and so how did you land upon this idea and this endeavor?
Yeah, so I have a friend that actually went to Albany State too, but I'm not sure if you would know him because he transferred out maybe, you know, a year or two in.
Okay.
But his name is Edwin Mackey. At the time, he was going by Glenn. Was on the baseball team, and he had the idea, and you know, he came to me and kind of just blurted out that I had this great idea. And so I was like, yeah, you know, once I heard it, I was like, yeah, that is a great idea, but I didn't really think past that. And so maybe a day or two or like a week later, he posted something kind of referring to, you know, I wish I had the bandwidth or the time to develop this idea that I have. And he posted that on Facebook. And so people started responding like, you know, hey, if you, I'll invest and I'll help you out. And so I kind of, since I knew what he was talking about, I reached out to them and was like, you know, hey, I know what he's talking about, what the idea is. So if y'all kind of want to get together and invest in this idea together, you know, we can do it. We can pool our money. And so then he noticed that back and forth in the comments. And he was like, yo, man, I appreciate you kind of like initiating that conversation, but I would prefer if just you invested. And so that's kind of how I came to it, because I was like, what's the investment amount you're talking about? Like what does it look like? And so we had a conversation and I decided like, yeah, I'll come in and you know, you brought the idea, I'll come in and invest monetarily. And that's how it was born.
Nice. So what is Blvck Spades? Tell us what it is. Lay it out. What is Blvck Spades?
Well, Blvck Spades originally was just an idea for playing cards with black people, kings and queens featured on the faces. Since then, you know, my business partner is like very creative, you know what I mean? Which is a good, I guess, counterbalance to me, because I'm like not that creative. I'm more like a numbers guy. So he has huge ideas. Like, I want this to be the biggest global company, like Google, you know what I mean? Like, so originally it was just about cards and like having representation in an area that I think most black people haven't even considered. Um, but once we kind of got some traction and some interest from people, like we posted the designs first, and people were like, oh man, that is dope. So I was like, okay, people actually like it. They, you know, responding well. And then we went into like the production phase where we were reaching out to different manufacturers to try to figure out, okay, what's it going to cost us to actually bring this out to market. And, you know, we got to that point and people were feeling it, you know what I mean? So we were like, okay, we have something that people like. now how can we start to expand our brand and our offerings in other areas? And so he would say Blvck Spades is a lifestyle brand that offers Black owned products, not Black manufactured products, because to be very honest, we get our stuff manufactured in China. But Black owned, Black ideated, and definitely for the culture. Like it's for us. So, of course, if anybody else wanna buy some cars, they're more than welcome. But it was really like we want to put this out here that we did this for our people, and people that don't even know they want to see Black faces on cars. We did it for y'all too, and I feel like that's what the enjoyment has been for people. It's like people play cards and they don't even think about what they're looking at.
Right.
But when they saw our cars, it was like, oh, like I never even knew that I wanted to see this, and I'm seeing it and I love it. And so that's what I really enjoyed about it. But yeah, to answer your original question, we're trying to have our hands in as many things as possible and offer quality products, kind of like, by us, for us.
So with running a business like this one that requires design, distributions, and ideas, man, what's the key aspects of partnership?
The key to partnership is first the two partners. Like me and him, like I said, we're very different. We have our challenges. We fight sometimes. We argue sometimes. It's definitely not easy, but the partners need to prioritize the end goal first over themselves. And so I think sometimes, we might forget that. We might get a little ego, get in our egos a little bit and forget that. But we tend to usually come back to, we trying to make this thing work, and we trying to make some money. Like we trying to give something good to the people. So we're usually able to come back and remember what the primary goal is. But outside of that, it's also knowing how to delegate what each person does, because it's a lot of work. I was telling my nephews this the other day, like they're 12 and 11, and I was like, man, as you get older, the idea of owning a business is going to be kind of rammed into your head. Like I heard you talking earlier, Emo, about like ownership. And I'm like, that is a good concept, but please don't get it twisted. Like it's hard. It's very hard. And I sat with them and I broke it down, like every facet or aspect of this, what you see was a decision, like something we had to think about and consider. And we had to, we went back and forth like, I don't like this, I don't like that, or this cost is too much from this manufacturer. My business partner had to fly to China at one point and meet with manufacturers. So it's like, it's a lot of work, and you got to be willing to buckle down and do all of that.
Gotcha. I got some more questions, man. Like I said, we got a co-producer, the person who reached out to you, man. So I want to make sure I get their questions out. I want to say the fun question for later, but I see the pop-up and LLLP, triple LP. So what's the pop-up and triple LP?
Oh, so I'm glad you asked that question, because that's like another business venture that I have. It's kind of like my own, like by myself kind of thing, but I do have what would be considered a silent partner. So that is a venture where I'm trying to I live in the Lakewood neighborhood right here in Atlanta, and I've been over here for 5 years. And it's a beautiful place, but it's not a lot of things to do. It's a food desert, you know what I mean? So originally when I bought this plot of land, because I just wanted to own it. You know what I mean? I didn't have an idea of what I wanted to do with it. But then I started thinking about, like, me as a resident here, what do I want myself? And food is a big thing. Like, we don't have the option. We got JJ's, fish, you know what I mean? We love that sometimes, but you know, black people getting healthier, so we can't be eating fried fish and chicken and shrimp. You know what I mean? So I was like, how can I, hey, let me know, I'm outside. Let me know if this dog over here is like too much. This is my neighbor's dog. But yeah, so I was like, what do I want as a resident here? And then it was like, boom, food. So the land is just big enough. It's a really small, like, sliver of land to just sit like 4 or 5 food trucks on and have some seating out there and, you know, give people something to do. And it's also like walking distance to the Lakewood Amphitheater and, like, you know, a park over here. There's an APS stadium for football and track. So from a business standpoint and, like, you know, thinking about the financials of it, I'm like, we definitely have the traffic already. So I need to direct people to, you know, my thing. So that's what that is. The pop-up, you know, is just something. My girl actually came up with the name. She came up with the logo. But the LLLP part is just like a designation for the type of business it is. It's limited liability, limited partnership.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And right now I'm in the process of getting that land developed. And that's a whole nother issue because, you know, contractors and stuff be on that BS.
Right.
I can dig it. So, yeah, when I saw it, I'm like, well, I want to ask about that. I know we're talking about the Blvck Spades, you know, and that aspect of it. But when I saw that, man, let me ask about this because I think it's good when you're known for one thing, but then you have that other element and aspect. You know, you want people to talk about that too. So when you have the opportunity to kind of get out, so with the food trucks, are they out there? Are they out there every day, on weekends, special occasions, game nights?
Yeah, the plan is for them to be out there every day. Our website is up so that we have the website obviously for like general information, you know, about us and the location and all of that. But there's also a page specifically for food vendors that they can go in and register their food truck or their food cart. I'm gonna go in because this dog is tripping. But you can as a food truck vendor, you can register your food truck and go through all of the you know, submit all your documents saying that you're a, you know, I guess you're on record with the city. It won't be no issues if, you know,
Right.
for liability
You want
reasons.
no bootlegging trustees coming out there and then y'all get shut down because you got somebody out there that pulled up, you know, JJ truck, you know what I'm saying?
Also, y'all rotate vendors. It's not just the same vendors that will be there all the time.
Correct. That's the plan.
Okay.
So it's like and I feel like it's perfect because, you know,
Yeah.
the answer to the problem of we don't have food options is to give people a lot of food options. So we're gonna have vegan food trucks, ice cream trucks, smoothie trucks, barbecue, Cajun, whatever. You know what I mean? That's the goal for it.
Okay.
That's one thing that I see that was popping in Atlanta. I know, you know, COVID has, you know, trying to change a few things, but festivals, man, people go to festivals all the time, whether music festivals, food festivals, just to get some variety. So, man, that's good. That's hot.
I remember my first Atlanta festival that I went to, man. You remember my first Atlanta festival, bro?
That was the first one?
Yeah, man. That was the first festival that I went to.
Hey, yeah. It was
You said it was which one?
My bro took me
it was
down.
in Grant Park. It was food truck festival. Yep.
Yeah, that was my first Atlanta experience, man. I'm down here in Southeast Georgia, man, down by the water, Savannah, Georgia-ish. I live in Hinesville, man, so that's where I'm at right now. So my co-producer has this question, man. Walk us through the special edition Amazon event HBCU deck. How did that happen?
Man, that was just you know, my business partner, he's essentially a freelancer. Like, he's been against getting a 9 to 5 pretty much as long as I've known him. So he be out there scrambling like all the time. Even like right this second, he's in Houston covering the George Floyd memorial service. So this man will not stand still. So through the years of him doing his work, he's just made a lot of connections, and he was able to connect the dots to someone that works for Amazon, and she's a Afro Latina. She's a super dope lady named Joyce, and she saw our cars and was like, "Oh my God, I want them. I need them. I want them for swag for Afrotech." And we were like, "Thank you, like that's great." You know what I mean? That's a great look for a business, you know, under a year old. So, you know, we were able to just work it out, put a proposal together, and they were super supportive, you know, understanding that we're a small business. So, you know, if there's some issues here and there, they were willing to work with us. And there weren't many issues, but we did have an issue because Afrotech was out in Oakland. So we had an issue like trying to rush the cars from China, get them shipped over here, but they were shipped to Atlanta. And so we were like, dang, we got to get them out to Oakland. And so Amazon helped us ship it out to Oakland because it would have cost us, you know, like maybe $5,000-$10,000 based on the weight of all the cars they wanted. So they stepped in and helped us with that. And so it's a real good relationship we have. And then as far as the HBCU deck, that was just another opportunity that they gave us for an event. I believe it was in like Nashville or something. And, you know, my business partner being a creative, he orchestrated that whole thing, worked with our designer to get it designed, of course, with HBCU centric figures and images. So we got like the Divine Nine represented, we got the drum major represented. And so we went to that event, and there's like what's typically called like a business resource group within every organization. There's a Black business resource group, and they loved it. You know what I mean? And so we were actually in the process of getting some cars for them for another event for this month, I believe, called NESB, which is like National Engineers, something Black engineers. But COVID happened and it shut down the event. But yeah, so his contacts through the years just yielded, you know, that particular connection. And luckily they loved the idea, they loved the look, and supported us enough to push it through. You know what I mean?
Dang, that's motivation at its finest, man. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
major, yeah.
Motivation at its finest. And so I think it's time, man, that we get into some the fun side of, you know, these deck of cards and these spades. And so let me you know, yeah, let me get up here. Let me pull it up real quick, man. I gotta go to the roll page, man, because everybody plays spades differently. You know what I'm saying? So more than actually just knowing, you know, what you can do with a hand. You know what I'm saying? You have the different ways of playing cards, man. So when you sit down at the spades table, and I'm assuming that you do play spades, so even, you know, jumping on a venture like this, I'm assuming that you play. So to play spades, man, if you had a table, man, and you had your pick, how would you play? You know, what's the house rules?
I'm Joker Joker Duece Duece all day, man.
Joker Joker Duece Duece.
Man, you
That's
know,
the only way.
That's the only way. You know
Who
what I mean?
plays ace high?
man.
So
I'm
what,
going to do this. Yeah, that's me.
okay. I'm glad we all in agreement on that, man. Like,
Definitely.
I be wanting to know, like, what got you to the point to be playing ace high? Like, you know what I mean? How did that happen?
Man, my wife is from over in Alabama, man, and when I went down there to go visit them, man, they were like, "Oh, nah, take them jokers out." two diamonds at the bottom, man.
That's the type of thing you like, dog. I should have found that out before we got married. Like, what's going on?
Right? I'm like, oh, wait a minute, like, hey, what? I mean, it makes good. I mean, it makes for, I guess, a good game of spades, because you really got to really think, boy. You got to have a good mental. You know what I'm saying? But The Joker Joker Duece Duece, man, is an exciting.
Yeah, it's more exciting. It's like I don't know. It's like the major leagues with steroids. Like, well, you know, we want to see bombs. We want to see hot, like, you know what I mean? We don't want a 1-0 game. We don't want a 3-2 football game. You know what I mean? We want to see some sport.
Right, you were right. Somebody on Facebook said Ace High is the original way. You know, I got introduced to spades. I think I was already an adult. You know what I'm saying? Like folks, they used to play Tunk, and we played 21. I declare what. You know those. And then I don't even know if it was like college. It was college-ish, but I was back home, man. When I sat down, I'm like, man, what's up? And my pop sat me down and was like, we just started playing, and it didn't take me that long to catch on. And after that, man, it was like they down here in the country, boy. Oh my gosh, I'm talking about they getting
They're serious about it, ain't they?
Man, they get into it, man. So we got this post.
You can have some major fallouts about a spades hand, for real.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So we got this deck. How many books do you see? Let's argue, man. Straight from the site. So what's how many books do you see? How many books we got?
Yeah. So I did my research a little earlier. Of course, I've seen this post before, but I went back and I just double checked. I'm like, let me just see, man. And I came up with, somebody else said it in the comment too, like 7 and a strong 2 possibles. 2 strong possibles in this hand for me. Because
yeah, I agree.
7 and 2 strong possibles.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting out of this hand. Because I feel like the ace and king of clubs and hearts gonna ride. The queen probably not. But since we ain't got no diamonds, that's probably 3 books, maybe. You know what I mean, right there. And so just the amount of spades and the fact that we don't have no diamonds, I'm definite on 7. And then, the queen might ride. And see, one thing people I don't know if people get this deep with it, but if I can, I'll say that queen for later, you know what I mean? And it'd be one of them throwaway cards, like, because nobody else got.
Yeah, okay.
You get what I'm saying?
You could be my partner, man, because every time I sit down at the table with somebody, man, they looking at me like, what in the world is this guy doing? Like, what are you? And so for me, I'm always strategic when I play. And I can sit down with a new partner or whatever. It don't matter who my partner is, man. I'm like, you play how you play, and we're going to figure it out by the time we get, through this first 1 or 2 hands, you'll understand my rationale for everything that I do. You know what everything. But with no diamonds, man, I'm looking at, because I looking at this hand, I take into consideration there are no jokers there at all whatsoever. There's not an ace, not a king, not a queen, right? Those big 5. And so you would automatically want to hope. We got a private group, man, for the network family. And one was like, man, I got 10. I was like, 10? God dang it.
10.
Come on.
He said 10. He said 10. I'm like, wait, man. I'm talking about, he said my partner got the rest of them. So, I never assume what my partner got,
Yeah.
But to not have those diamonds, man, even if your partner does have them, after that first go around, like, shoot, you throwing them clubs off. And I will hold that queen for a later date, because once I hit them spades and I'm pulling, I'm the type that I'm going to pull. I tell you how I play and still beat you.
Yeah.
What I like about those Blvck Spades cards, they look very firm for some good slap action.
Hey.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Come here, boy.
That was part of our quality control testing right there, man. We had to make sure
That's it, man.
Yeah.
We took these things, we like, let me see, let me make sure. Okay, yeah, I like the sound. It got a nice, clap to it. And that's how we picked them, man.
They look real classy, real sleek. They look real good, man. Real good.
Man, I'm telling you, like, an incredible look. So with this design, you know what I'm saying? Let's talk design for a couple of seconds, right? So with going this route of the design, what made you guys, I see no more debating, what made you guys decide to label the jokers? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then, yeah, what's the thought process? Like, if we label these jokers, they gonna understand.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, again, that was my partner, man. He was just like, I want to make a card specifically for spades and just fix a lot of the issues. Like who wanna write on their cards, big, little, you know what I mean? And you don't always have to do that. You know, of course you got the guarantee or the not guarantee or whatever, and you can decide that way. But we just felt like that'd be a nice element to add to the cards, and people would appreciate it. And but one funny thing about our jokers is people was like, why the black one, the little one?
Because I did notice that, but I mean, I was like, man, you got a black joker and a white joker, and it's something about colored folks, man. We take that color.
We be like, man, we can't win, boy.
We take that
hey, for real. And
take,
so, we had to kind of educate people on why we did that, which is because, the little joker is Anubis, who is the god of death, essentially. And Big Joker is Amun-Ra, the god of light. So that's the only reason that that happened. You know what I mean? And people were like, they black spades, but the people white. I'm like, I mean, we just got the outline. You know what I mean? We we wasn't really trying. We weren't thinking that deep. We didn't think y'all would think that deep. But folks like, yeah, they still white though.
They do. So, okay, black spades versus black standard. The most important distinction between black spade and black standard is that black spade is a deck that was designed for Joker Joker Duece Duece spades, while black standard was created so that you can enjoy the beauty of our ancient Egyptian imagery while playing other card games.
Yep. So black spades, like as you see here, the two of club and two of hearts is like crossed out. That's just another indicator. That's a design element that, is specific to just the spades deck. But then, my aunt actually, shout out to Aunt Brenda, wherever you are. She was like, y'all need a bid whist deck. And I was like, oh, I don't play bid whist, but it did make me think like, okay, if people want to play whatever other card game, we do need a standard deck that's just what it is. You know what I mean? So, because like in the spades deck, all of the spades are gold instead of black, which is just another design element to kind of point you in the direction of the game we playing. But for every other deck, our standard decks, the spades are black, just like any other deck.
Oh, that's some interesting stuff, man. Golly, this is dope. I need to get me a deck. I need to get me a deck. So, other than any other things you guys came in contact with or came across as relates to your deck, man, any questions like that before we get out of here, man?
Yeah. So, once we were getting the comments like why the people still white. And also when we got with Amazon and Joyce was like, I want the cards to be shaded. Like I want to see skin tones. So we went back kind of, not necessarily back to the drawing board, but we went back to our designer and was like, we got to add some skin tone features to the cards for the people who want that. So, we have what's called our Blvck Spades Special Edition deck, which is the same kind of design elements, but it's limited edition. But, it's a, what is this, landscape? It's a landscape orientation as opposed to the decks that's usually like this, So we did this to make it special, and then we just added the skin tone to, make people feel comfortable playing with the cards if they weren't comfortable with them before.
You sit down at a spades table with white people. I'm like, well, where the white people at on the
Yeah, man. So that's it. We just, try to think of everything. And Mackie, my partner, was the lead on all the creative stuff. He didn't actually design the decks, but he oversaw everything that was going on. And we both were just really happy with how it came out.
Man. Yeah, definitely dope, man. Bro, you got anything else?
Man, that's about it. Oh, yeah, so when Trey put out the flyer for this episode, there's a picture with you and Rick Ross. What happened? What is that? Tell us how that happened.
So again, another one of my partner's contacts. Her name is Alora Mason. She's like a well-known. Well, I won't say she's well-known. She's well-known to the stars like Rick Ross and all those, because she's a publicist. So during Super Bowl, which was in Miami, she reached out to us and was like, you know, I got an event going on, and I want y'all to be highlighted. So come down and we set up a bar, like a full bar. And again, I gotta give major props to my business partner, even though he's crazy as hell sometimes. The dude just worked, man. And so he built a bar that we could break down and move, drive down to Miami, put up, and we, you know, serve drinks. They had bartenders serving drinks at our bar that had like our products and our name prominent in the event. And so, you know, the event was to highlight Miami legends essentially. So Trina was there, Rick Ross was there, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make sure y'all get a picture with Rick Ross." And so, you know, celebrities, they be kind of in and out real quick. So he was doing his thing, talked for a second, like, "All right, I'm out." And she actually was like, hold on, can you stop. I want to get this picture right here. You got to get a picture with Blvck Spades. And so I just was there. My business partner was out, he was doing something else at the time. So I just happened to be there. And she was like, "Yeah, come get this picture right now." And then she set it up, snapped the pictures real quick. And it was, and we gave him our gift set, which is one of the products that we offer. It's like a gift set with rocks glasses and a score pad and a pen and all this stuff. So we gave him that, you know, just kind of as a token of our appreciation. And we were like, hopefully he liked it and actually shout us out, but that never happened. But you know, it was just a good.
Yeah.
Oh, and one more thing that I'm really proud of myself as far as like celebrities and stuff like that. When we were in Oakland, we saw Shaka Zulu, who is, I'm sure y'all know what Shaka Zulu is.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like the day before I left for Oakland, I was at the gathering spot and I was talking to TK, who's one of the owners, like, "Yo, here are my cars. Like, we love to do an event with you and all this stuff." He's like, "Oh, for sure." And, you know, Shaka be here and he loves space. So he probably would, you know, want to do something. And it just so happened that he was in Oakland too. So I pulled up on him, like, "Hey man, I want to give you these cars like for free. Take them." Like, and months later, y'all remember I can't remember what it was called, but when everybody was going back to Africa last year for like, I guess it was the home going for Africa
Yeah,
400
Return
weeks.
to Africa. Ludacris had went over there, got his dual citizenship, all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he took the cars out there and shot a video of him and like Jadena and some other people playing spades with our cars. And somebody tagged us like, "Yo, he got y'all cars and you know, he playing with your cars in Africa right now." And I was like, "Man, that's just dope."
Woo!
That's major.
So,
That's major.
yeah, that junk felt real good.
That's prime time. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's incredible, man. Especially when you had those aspirations, man, to not only be great, but to do something great. And like you said in the beginning of the show, man, like the entrepreneurship and that ownership, man, it definitely has its challenges, a lot of ins and outs. Then with the partnership, I got a partner as well, man, like who drives me up the wall, man, and. Like he was texting me, he was texting me, you know, not too long ago. Like, "What you doing?" Like, "Bro, I have a show every single night at 7 o'clock. Like, what are you doing? What am I doing?" Because on his mind is like the next business thing. You know what I'm talking about? And
Yeah.
so I like this. I like to be able to hear that, man. Those humble beginnings, and you know that working relationship, and to know, like, man, I got a partner out here grinding, getting it in. I'm out here trying to do X, Y, and Z, man, because it's bigger than the cars. You know what I'm saying? And so I just want to take the opportunity to say I appreciate you again, man, for taking out your time, man, to sit and chop it up with us. I'm always pleased, man, because sometimes I think not that you are not big, man, but sometimes I think that there are people who think that they are bigger than what they are. And so when they look at you, it's like, well, what are you doing? Like, who are you? Who's going to see this? Who, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is this going to do for me? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do I gain from taking out an hour of my day or time to sit and have a conversation with you? And so the fact that, you know, you did do that, man, again, I appreciate it, man. We're up and coming, man. We're a network, home of the unwarranted but necessary opinion. We're up and coming, man. So eventually, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate you calling that out, man. That definitely is my style all the way. Like I ain't nobody, dog. Like I'm just out here trying hard. You know what I mean? Like that's the way I look at myself. So, you know, I love to have these conversations. I love to connect with folks I ain't seen in a while, like Emo. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
And you know, emo energy always been like the best. You know, he was like one of the most popular dudes down in Albany, man. Because and it wasn't on no popular because like I'm the hot boy or this. It was just like I'm that cool
Yep.
dude. Like, everybody knows I'm cool.
Heck yeah,
And
man.
so I appreciate the opportunity myself, man. You know what I mean? Just to be on. And I definitely will be checking in more. You know what
Hey,
I mean?
man.
See what y'all doing. If y'all ever
Yeah.
want to have
Yeah,
yeah.
man. Thank you so
Trey
much.
had even asked me earlier. He's like, wait, hold on, you know our guest? I was like, yeah, man, me and Zane, we worked together and you was on baseball team and we had a lot of mutual friends that way too. So yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
So it's always love with me, man. I promise you, it's always love. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Yes, sir.
I knew you were a good dude, man, when the way he promoted your brand, man. You know what I'm saying? Like he went in like this is episode number 7 for us for this show in particular, you know. And yeah, he was going in. I'm like, wait a minute, like, bro, it got to be some type of affiliation, some type of connection, man. Because my bro,
That's my boy.
my
Yeah.
bro is going in, man. So at this time, man, go ahead and let everybody know how they can connect with you, contact with you, websites, all that information, bro.
yes, sir. So the website is blvckspades.com. For those that don't know, it's BLVCK instead of BLACK. Spades.com. The Instagram page is at Blvck Spades. The Facebook page is /Blvck Spades. And as far as my pop-up venture, like I said, I'm going through a lot with the contractors, but when that gets up and running, I'll let everybody know and hopefully have an event to like highlight everybody. You know what I mean? Everybody that I know that's doing something, because that's another part of it too. It's like I like the idea of having a platform and a space where people can come and like, hey, I sell soap, or I sell like Langston. I got a classmate named Langston from high school, sell T-shirts. So it's technically a food truck part, but it's like, nah, whatever you sell, if I can help put you on, let's do it. You know what I mean? So once that kind of gets developed, I'll be letting everybody know about that.
No doubt, man. Appreciate it so much. So again, man, thank you for tuning in, everybody, man. This is another episode of Tell Me Something Good, where we interview dope people doing dope things every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Your boy Wiggles and my co-host Eric McLemore. Y'all don't go nowhere because I got a whole lot of promo after this, man. We thank y'all so much.
Appreciate it.